Over 50 years ago, in the very first Alien movie, Ash, the android, he said something very interesting. He said, "This is quite possibly the most perfect creature," or something along those lines. Little did he know 50 years later, we'd still be creating versions of the Xenomorph. And I have to agree with him, especially in statue form. These creatures are amazing. Kind of makes you wish they were real. Oh, I said it. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, welcome to the Extreme Channel. Today we're looking at a custom statue. So this is a private unlicensed commission. This is from Alien Covenant. I think it was the 6th or 7th or 8th. I don't even remember. I think there's 9 movies right now, with, at the time I'm filming this, Romulus being the most recent, which I haven't got through yet. I've watched it a couple times and I'm not at the end. But that's neither here nor there. So this is custom. It's an unlicensed statue, again, from Alien Covenant. This is the Neomorph. It's kind of the predecessor to the Xenomorph. So an android who went crazy, created him kind of based off some other aliens he found, some alien life forms. And this statue is from a direct scene in that movie. Now, interesting thing about me with especially Prometheus and Alien Covenant, when I first saw those movies, I wasn't a huge fan. But when I watched them the second and third time, I liked them quite a bit more. Now, they will never, ever hold a candle to Alien or Aliens, the first in the franchise, which is crazy to me because, like I said, those are 40 or 50 years old. But it does give us some really cool looking creatures, including the Neomorph. And I gotta say, the Neomorph is even more cool in statue form than it was on the film. I'm really excited to have this piece. We're going to review it today, and let's just take a look and see what it's about. So as always, we start with concept of the statue. Now what's great about this is, really, other than taking it directly from the movie scene, there's only one variance to the concept. So first, I always appreciate it when you take a direct movie screen. If you're following the channel, you know I collect a lot of comic statues that are taken from comic covers. So I kind of classify this the same. Now, they did add a museum-style base on the bottom. I hate museum-style sub-bases, especially when I plan to pair this with some other pieces I'm going to tell you about in a second, and then they put a stupid nameplate. Now, if you're going to do entire museum lines, sure, I get that. So some people really like it. It's just not for me. And then again, this is when we first saw the Neomorph, and it killed, I can't remember the character for the life of me, although it was one of the main characters. And that's what I like about Aliens, other than Sigourney Weaver, who I guess they did kill her too, is anyone is game to die in any of those movies. But the Neomorph is standing over her. This was the first time everyone else got to look at the Neomorph. We got our first look, and it's just disgusting looking. You see a few things that are reminiscent of the Xenomorph, the alien we were used to, but it's different and the same at the same time. So I love it. I think it's great. It's a 4 out of 5 on the concept. I think some people would argue 5 out of 5. I just don't like nameplates. Design. Pretty simple design, but it wasn't easy to do. Before we look at that, here's the unboxing and assembly. One box, decent size, a little bit lighter than most statues this size, only about 40 pounds. And instead of having an art box, they kind of printed right on the cardboard, which probably saves some money. Now there is an envelope we're going to look closer at, but it was 2 layers total. The first layer was the body, the 2 arms, and the tail. Second layer was also the body. It was 2 deep, along with the base. Now that envelope was pretty cool, very fancy, even had a wax symbol here, or I don't know what they call them, but they keep it shut. And inside was an art print that looks awesome, as well as these drawings. And I believe these are David, or whatever the android's name was, stuff he would look at. And then, of course, a COA about the particular piece you can pause and read. So the size of this is 1/3 scale. Now that means in real life this would be 3 times larger. I like that a lot because my alien collection that I'm going towards is movie-based aliens, so not off the comics. Alien and Predator have a cult following in the comics. But I have other 1/3 scale alien pieces, not only here in the house, but also some on order, including these from Prime 1 Studio. And that's where I plan to display this, right next to those. If you want to see what that looks like, check out the Extreme Channel's social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link is in the description below. But let's look at the size of this. So first of all, the diameter of the base, let's go under his legs here. Approximately 18 to 19 inches, give or take. Then the tallest part is the back of his head here. Is because he's leaning over, it's just under 15.5 inches. So that makes this very displayable. Or does it? Now, one of the great things is the shot of the mouth and the body. And if you display it low, you can't see that as well. So this is almost a piece that needs to be at eye level or higher. Unfortunately, due to space, I will be putting him lower. But I think that's a little bit disadvantaged with the design. The other disadvantage I really saw with the design is you saw me assemble him. The arms, putting the arms together actually created a decent seam line right here. It's not horrible, but it's definitely noticeable. And if you ever wonder, well, why didn't they just have the arms attached when it came? It probably would have broken shipping. So I'd much rather have a non-broken statue with these seam lines, and the gloss covers it up a little bit. But unfortunately, it's a byproduct of the situation. Other than that, what you see is what you get. No other display options, nothing else going on. But I do appreciate that nothing came damaged. Everything fits together really well, and it really recreated that scene. So for those reasons, I still give the design a 4 out of 5. Really, the biggest negative is the displayability if you have it down low and those seam lines on the shoulders. Paint and sculpt. In short, I think the alien is phenomenal. I think the base is good, and you'll see what I'm talking about in this close-up video. Starting with the sub base here, concept aside, it looks a little cheap. I don't know if it's the finish on it or the material it's actually made out of. And then even the word Covenant, almost too small. Although I was complaining about it earlier, so I probably shouldn't say anything. But rock looks great. I like the green and brown they added to the gray, and I think there's enough texture on the actual rocks to give it a very real rock-like effect. Clearly not the most real I've ever seen, but it does look nice. Wish the entire base would have been made out of it. So the likeness is very off from the movie. Again, can't remember the name of the individual here. And but it looks great. I love how the eyes are faded over. You can see that. All the blood is drained out of the head. And by the way, I always love translucent resin as liquid, and I think it looks great the way it's bashing up against the rocks. Hair looks fine considering it's wet. I love the translucent resin they used for the skin. Really feeds well. Paint job on the mouth is immaculate. Eyebrows are a little caterpillar-like, but could be the character. And then I also like on the actual body itself, I mean, look at the veins on the fingers. And then right there where the interior of the arms are ripped, I think that looks really good. Just how torn up. The damage is pretty well done other than the guts. I'm not a huge fan of the guts. They don't look bad. I don't like the pink color they used. And some of the blood spots look really good. Like I think on the base looks really good. On the alien is just kind of so-so. I think where the blood is set is kind of weird. It's too linear. More guts or I guess not guts, but muscle tissue in the leg. A lot of the same comments there about the guts. And then even the fully sculpted uniform looked decent, a little dirty. But we're here for the Neomorph, who looks amazing in my opinion. First of all, love the gloss they put on it. Really accentuates all the different colors, from the pinks to the blues to the greens and whites that are in it. Really good job. And then some veins hidden in, like, you know, almost like a reverse rib cage on the back here. All the segments of the tail. The blood on the tip of the tail. I wish the tail was sharper, kind of like some of the other aliens. I think all the other aliens are much sharper. I don't know if that's screen accurate or not. But look at the decrepit fingers. Really like that. They probably went a little too decrepit on the fingers of the character, now that I look at it. But really nice job on the skin. Looks absolutely amazing. And then the details around the mouth and the tongue, I think the blood splatter is perfect there. The pink spikes coming out of the back have a little bit of a plastic feel to them, and I don't know if it's because of the paint or the material. I'm sure they're made out of resin, so they wouldn't break during shipment. But really love the alien, who's clearly the star of the show. So overall, definitely a few opportunities here and there, but wow. If I could get it to focus on one thing. Pretty impressive overall. I'm going to give the paint a 4 out of 5 simply because I think the alien is the big part of the statue, and it is so good on that. And I think I'm going to follow along the same lines with the sculpt. 4 out of 5. While I might downgrade the base and parts of that in both paint and sculpt, 3 out of 5. As a whole, 4 out of 5 for both of those categories, in my opinion. Value on this one. It's a little tougher to evaluate the value. Evaluate the value. Yeah, that's right. So they made 50 of these and they retailed at $9.99. Now I believe that was just a North American version. I believe there's a Chinese version that they made up to 100 more. Now as a custom, they can do stuff like that. But I do know the overall edition size is very small. So it's probably under a couple hundred. And $9.99 for a third scale statue is pretty good. Those other statues you saw were made in much bigger quantity, mass produced. Now granted they had to pay for the licensing, where here they did not. Those are 50% plus more. So I think the value is fantastic on this. While this version of the alien isn't as popular, the dog alien wasn't really that popular either, and that statue holds its value really well. So I think the value is a 4 out of 5 on this. I think people who slept on this are going to be upset they missed out. Does it have the X factor? Is it a 5 out of 5 statue? You know, this isn't my best alien piece, but it's pretty badass. I like it a lot. It's 4 out of 5. This isn't a cumulative score. It's just my overall impressions. I'm a big fan of this. Super happy to have it. Cannot wait to see what it looks like with the other pieces. What do you guys think? Is it good pickup for my collection? I'm doing an entire Alien Predator sci-fi theme that is taking a good portion of my collection, to be frank with you. It's probably going to take about 25% of my collection when it's all said and done. And if you haven't figured out, I've got a big one.
That's what she said.
No. God, if she said that. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to the makers of this. Really appreciate it. I think it's awesome. I hope they make some more alien pieces. If you could hit the like button, if you like this statue, or you like me, or just because it's easy and free and makes me sleep better at night. I need some sleep.